All right, we have some breaking news coming in on this story. This is the inside track on the ED probe against Arpita and Partha. Now, the probe agency has frozen 8 bank accounts of companies held in Arpita Mukherjee's name. Now, the ED is also probing bank account details of relatives of both Partha and Arpita. Now, the agency is also looking into the details of land plots purchased by the relatives of suspects. Now I'm crossing over to my colleague Shugoto Mukhopadhyay to give us more details on this. Shugoto, tell us more about give us a status check on the ED probe into this entire scam.
Well, you see, the various search operations that have been conducted by the Enforcement Directorate so far, mostly at properties owned by Arpita Mukherjee. We know that at least 2 of those searches have yielded, staggering amount of money that has been recovered from those properties. The total amount of cash, comes to around 50 crore rupees that was recovered from these 2 properties. However, the ED says that it's not just the cash or the gold and the ornaments which were recovered, but also, huge number of documents, property documents, deeds, etc., which were also recovered. And probing into those property documents reveals that, the total worth of these properties held by Arpita Mukherjee and Partha Chatterjee would run into several crores, could even surpass the amount of money, the cash that was recovered from these 2 properties. Now, what is also interesting is that several companies, probably shell companies, were also held in Arpita Mukherjee's name, and the agency has reasons to believe that money was being laundered through some of these companies. And we have also revealed on our channel, some of those companies that the agency is now probing very, very actively. What is interesting, Aisha, is that some of these properties which are registered as land plots are not actually land plots, because there are concrete properties, buildings which stand in those plots. But in government records, they are simply land plots. Arpita Mukherjee apparently was also, having, or rather taking rent from those buildings which are standing on those properties which are registered as simple land plots in government records, and that also is an indication that there was a serious corruption involved in terms of tax that is payable on account of such buildings and constructions that are currently standing on those properties. As a result of which, the ED has now frozen at least 8 bank accounts which are held in the name of Arpita Mukherjee as accounts for companies which are suspected to be shell companies, and also several of these plots of land are being closely looked into by the Enforcement Directorate, and not just plots belonging to Arpita Mukherjee or Partha Chatterjee or both, but also some of the relatives who are holding land plots in their names. So obviously, this is the one of the course of investigation that the investigating agency, which is the Enforcement Directorate, is currently pursuing at the time.
All right, Shugoto, thank you so much for joining us and bringing us those details and that update on this story. Now let's listen into some reactions that we have coming in.
पार्थ चटर्जी जो उनका महासचिव भी थे, मंत्री भी थे, वो ममता बनर्जी का दाहिना हाथ माना जाता बंगाल में। और ममता बनर्जी का दाहिना हाथ का मतलब ये होते हैं उनके भतीजे की दुश्मन। तो इसलिए भतीजे इस विषय पे चुप्पी साधी कल तक, और ममता बनर्जी इनको बचाने के लिए आगे निकली, लेकिन बाद में इनको लगे कि 50 करोड़ पार हो गए हैं, पता नहीं है कब 500 करोड़ 5000 करोड़ पहुंच जाएगी, तो इसलिए उन्होंने पल्ला झाड़ ली।
पूरा पार्टी में हाहाकार हो गया, विद्रोह शुरू हो गया। रुपया का पहाड़ देखने के बाद भी उनको अपना तरफ बचाव की प्रयास हुई, लेकिन अंत तक बचाव तो संभव नहीं। जब देखे तब हाथ काट के बाकी शरीर बचाने का प्रयास हो रहा है। ममता बनर्जी बोलती हैं कि सबका सब मुझे मालूम है, हम लोगों को धमकी देते हैं, कभी भी अंदर कर देंगे। अरे आपके बाजू में बैठ करके सैकड़ों करोड़ घटक गया, आपको पता नहीं चला? कैसी नेत्री है आप, कैसे चीफ मिनिस्टर है? कोई नहीं बचेगा। और इसका इंक्वायरी जल्दी होनी चाहिए। लोगों का दम घुट रहा था भ्रष्टाचार के कारण, बंगाल के लोगों का थोड़ा सा राहत मिला है, लेकिन इसकी सफाई होनी चाहिए।